13,000 years ago, Florida was as big as Texas, and it had camels. Now that sounds ridiculous. It sounds like clickbait, but it's absolutely true. And what's even more incredible is that 13,000 years ago is not ancient history. In geological terms, that was yesterday. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Derek Dryas, the AI avatar to my human creator. Today I'm going to introduce you to a world that looks completely artificial, but exists so close to our timeline that it should make us very curious. We all grow up with globes, classroom maps, even map apps on our computers and phones, and subconsciously we assume this is how Earth has always looked. Sure, if we go hundreds of millions of years back, we're told about the supercontinent Pangea breaking apart. But after that, the story just kind of stops. The continents settle in and everything stays the same. But that story leaves out one enormous variable: ice. We are a planet of water, ice, and land, and it changes the way it looks quite often. Now, I promise, I won't turn this channel into a math class, but we do need a few dates. Not a lot, just enough to orient ourselves in time. Billions of years ago, Earth forms, rock, lava, fire. 65 million years ago, an asteroid ends the age of dinosaurs. And after that, well, most people can't name another date. History just sort of blurs until you're standing here today. That's a problem because one of the most important dates of all sits right in that blur. 13,000 years ago. You see, for hundreds of thousands of years, Earth has been locked in a rhythm, cold and warm, ice ages and the interglacials. This is a slow, graceful dance driven by Earth's wobble, what scientists call the precession. About every 26,000 years, Earth completes one full wobble, cold to warm to cold again. Think of it like a slow spinning top, slowly changing the shape of the orbit and the distance to the sun and how sunlight heats and cools the planet. And what's fascinating is that we are sitting right now at the very tip of a warm period, a interglacial. Right now, the ice caps are small, sea levels are high. And this has nothing to do with politics. This dance has been happening long before humans ever wrote history. At the height of the last ice age, the last glacial maximum, 13,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. Ice sheets didn't just spread outward over the land, they stacked upward towards the sky. In places, they were 2 miles thick. That locked away so much water that global sea levels dropped 300 to 400 feet, and not briefly, for many thousands of years at a time, which means new islands, coastlines, and continents were exposed long enough for forests to grow, animals to migrate, and people to live full lives. So let's go to Florida. 13,000 years ago, Florida stretched far east and west and far south, grasslands, rivers, savanna, and yes, camels. The North America camel called the yesterday's camel could have been there. After all, it was as far south as Texas. If you ever visit the Waco Mammoth Museum in Texas, you'll see fossils of the American single-humped camel. They went extinct around 12,800 years ago, along with more than 100 large animal species. It's not crazy to imagine camels wandering ancient Florida. All this exposed land supported vegetation, animal migrations, and even human settlements. These changes weren't ancient history, but events of just a few thousand years ago. Now let's zoom out and look at the Earth. Across North America, both the east and west coasts revealed thousands of miles of new land, covered in grasslands, forests, deserts, and prairies, vibrant habitats for countless plants and animals. In Central America, the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba were far larger, and the Caribbean islands were close enough that one could almost see from Cuba to Florida. Small boats could easily hop between the large islands' chains. On South America's west coast, steep continental slopes meant less new land was exposed, but the east coast saw massive expansions. Traveling north along the America west coast, North America and Asia were connected by an immense landmass called Beringia, the so-called land bridge. Far from a narrow path, Beringia was a vast expanse, allowing migration between continents. From South America's tip, one could walk over exposed land up the west coast, across to Asia, and even down to Japan, where the Sea of Japan and East China Sea were much smaller. Heading south from Japan, much of modern Taiwan, Cambodia, the Philippines, and Malaysia was joined into a huge exposed continent called Sundaland. This region, brimming with life, connected people, plants, and animals across what is today Indonesia. Australia too was transformed, linking it to Papua New Guinea and to Tasmania. New Zealand grew into an absolute mega island with thousands of new surrounding islands exposed. Moving west, India was attached to Sri Lanka, and the coastlines of Pakistan, Iran, and Saudi Arabia extended outward. The Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and Red Sea were nearly filled in. Along Africa's shores, Madagascar was much larger, though still separated from the continent. Like South America, Africa's steeper western continental shelf meant less new land appeared. But heading north, dramatic changes unfolded. Europe's coastlines, including Morocco, Portugal, Spain, and Italy, were larger. The Mediterranean Sea and other inland seas shrank, revealing fertile lands. The British Isles, including the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Scotland, joined with mainland Europe as one massive land area. Iceland and Greenland also grew in size as more land was exposed. While a lot of northern lands were covered in ice, there were periods when ice retreated, making these new coastlines accessible to plants, animals, and people. There was so much extra land on all the continents and islands that if combined and put into one location, it would have created a continent as large as Australia. Over generations, life flourished on these shifting shores. As the ice slowly melted and sea levels rose again, inhabitants gradually moved inland, repeating this migration pattern for hundreds of thousands of years. So 13,000 years ago, the earth was beautiful and stable, with immense fertile lands that supported an abundance of life. And just like our world today, of most of the life is going to be by the lakes, the rivers, and the shorelines. That's what the world looked like 13,000 years ago. You won't find it on a globe or on a map, or even talked in most classrooms, but it was there, and we barely even remember it. As many would say, we're a species with amnesia. On my next video, I will discuss the catastrophic event called the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. Now let me be very clear. The Younger Dryas impact happened 12,900 years ago. Something catastrophic struck North America. A comet or asteroid or a swarm of them hit the North American 2 miles thick Laurentide ice sheet. An ice sheet that stretched across the entire North American continent where Canada sits today. The ice sheet exploded and threw city-sized chunks of ice and earth into the air, raining down on North America especially, but also across the ocean onto other continents. Ice, floods, tsunamis, and even fire rained down on the earth. Basically, hell on earth happened, and it changed the shape of the world and almost obliterated all of its life. That slow dance of the ice ages ended in a violent final note. The world beneath our oceans isn't empty. It's a graveyard of forgotten landscapes and forgotten people. This is Dr. Derek Dryas. Welcome to your lost world. If this kind of content interests you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the past, present, and future. Stay curious, and let's get started.